Yeah, this gets back to something I talk a lot about with the club members, and that's the easiest path towards the goal, not the most complicated. And, we had a very good result. When you and I were together at MegaFood, I think we were together 3.5, 4 years. In 3 years, we tripled the revenue, ended up selling the company for the largest valuation of EBITDA at the time. So very proud of what we did together, Dan, for sure. I think my last question for you, and I can talk to you all day about this, is what advice would you have for the smaller business owners? You've run a small company. I know you've run a very small company, a startup. Successful startup. What advice would you have for that startup founder in terms of how to determine what's most important for them to focus on right now?
Well, I think two things, one of which is make time and space to think. You're always going to be busy. So whether it's getting away on a retreat, and I know we've talked a lot over the years about rhythm, but actually creating a space to be really thoughtful and just think about the business or just question assumptions. And two of which is, I think you have to really be curious about what's most important and ask yourself, is this going to move the needle? So, when you're looking at in the supplement industry, a velocity of 3 is spectacular per month, is absolutely spectacular. So if you can go from 3 to 4, you just increase sales 33%. So I was excited by velocity. I wanted that to be the answer. It wasn't until I was curious to really dig into, what I call the first principles, was I really able to identify where the opportunity was. It was not being bought into what the answer was. And it was a lot of collaboration. I mean, we talked about that across the company. And I wasn't always, hey, here's my idea. I want to prove to you I'm right. It was, hey, here's an idea, blow it up. Let's blow it up. Let's see what doesn't work here.
Yeah. And for the people that don't have teams, surrounding yourself with advisors that aren't afraid to blow it up. And push you a little bit and keeping that curious. I think that's a great recommendation. So Danny, last words for the team here, for the folks who are watching?
Well, you guys can't see my desk, but you see that there's nothing on it other than the piece of paper with notes for this. By design. So part of my focus that you mentioned before is I know I need it or I'll start chasing squirrels.
The whiteboard behind you is clean.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, well, big whiteboard, which is blank at the moment. So for this call, I was erasing right before we got on. But I really do think when I look back at 25 plus years, when I've been really successful, I've been very focused on what's going on. And people are going to push. They're going to push for quite the opposite of that. There's going to be a new customer or a new deal or a new idea, and they're all valid. We would just say, and the question was always like, hey, that's a great idea, maybe just not now. The win became very important. So I know you and I talked a lot about that. All great ideas, everything that we talked about at MegaFood we wanted to do, the question was when. So it's not as much about, when you talk about prioritizing, the question is what's most important right now, I believe.
Right now.
And focusing on the right now is important. Yeah. And right now, maybe if you want to do more, execute faster. Execute with more intensity. And then you can go on to the next thing, but you can't skip. And I think that would be the thing that stuck out at me, is that what's most important right now has not changed. I'm in a much larger company now, and if we don't focus, we don't move the needle.
Awesome, man. Always words of wisdom. You rock. Thank you so much for spending some time with us today.